Today on Tricrow Studios, we do a high gain amp shootout between the ENGL Fireball 100 and the VHT / Fryette, because it was a name change, Pittbull Ultra Lead. Now again, I do have to reiterate here that this is a high gain amp shootout, so you're not going to hear any cleans, breakups, or like slight rock tones or anything like that. Just quite a bit of But I do have two sound samples today, the first of which is a more balanced EQ type setting in drop C, and then we do a more scooped setting with drop B. All right, so there you go. There are the two sound samples for the shootout between the ENGL Fireball 100 and the VHT / Fryette, because again, there was a name change, Pittbull Ultra Lead. So at this point in the video, I'd like to go over kind of what I've gained, what I figured, you know, whatever, from doing a shootout like this. And I was very, very curious. Like I wanted to do this one more on a personal level than I usually do with the shootouts, because I just have fun doing these kind of videos and stuff like that. But I got the Fireball 100 at the start of the summer, and I guess you could say the Pittbull is sort of my old faithful. I'm not sure totally on that, but I really like the amp. So on a personal level, I really wanted to see how they kind of faced off against each other. The Fireball itself does really well with the low end, the saturated gain, and the high end. The mids are definitely good. It can come across as a very deep amp as well. Whereas the Pittbull, and I know that there's like 3 or 4 people, there's probably more, but there's 3 or 4 people that really hate the Pittbull. And they just say, well, people don't use them anymore because you can't record with them, I guess. So I kind of understand that, but the mids on the Pittbull are very famous, and again, for those 4 people, infamous because of their perceived cut and what they can take away from certain other instruments and such. But as far as like the high end, in contrast to the Fireball, it's not as in your face. Whereas the mids, if you have this scooped and then, you know, pop your mids up quite a ways, there's this weird balance that it does where there's a ton of usable mids where it still maintains that really deep sound, if that makes any sense. So what I figured while doing this shootout was just that. Basically, you hear a little more high end in the Fireball, and then you hear a lot more mids. You could, I guess, say saturated gain mids with the Pittbull. And to me, either amp would be a fantastic amp to help you get a lot more, you know, oomph in your playing, just on a personal level. It would still be best paired with a different amp, especially in like a band or recording scenario. Just to, I always say a JCM 800. I don't want to say it, but paired with a JCM 800. Where the JCM 800 is not the crazy high gain amp that everyone thinks it is. It's just the mids on it are just unmatched, unparalleled. Although not everyone, but quite a few people say that using this on the normal rhythm channel for high gain, it kind of can replicate that JCM 800 sound. But having either of these amps paired with something like a JCM 800 would really fill out that recording and really kind of help a little more with the balance in what else is going on in the recordings. But again, I do have to say, either amp is a great choice. The Pittbull now is generally very, very hard to find, and usually it's around the $4,000 mark on the used market if you want to try and pick one up, whether it says VHT or Fryette on the front. And whereas the ENGL Fireball is a current offering from ENGL. But again, it's just, I'm very, very fortunate. I really feel very fortunate that I do own both of these amps, and I'm very, very happy. Anyway, thanks for watching.